we going live? Hoping everybody can see us here.
It says live. It has been live for 12 seconds.
All right. So we're going to let everybody have the option to come in. A few more technical things, and then we'll get started. Worked. We're live now, and I'm so happy. Okay, there's a that comes in. I don't know what's going on. Say, if you are live, in the chat, let us and
Hi, Francis.
Thank you for spending.
Hi, Denise. Kristen, it sounds like you're having internet problems. Yes, Denise, we're live.
I'm having problems. Moment, which is like the worst time for it to happen. I may have to hop.
Hey, Connie from Hanford, California. Lynn McIntyre, you're one of my faves too. Kristen hopped out for a minute. She's having internet problems. She was fine until we went live. Cheryl! Hi, Cheryl! Oh my gosh!
Okay.
My good girlfriend from California.
Yeah, would it be YouTube if we hadn't had a few little glitches in there?
Hi, Cynthia.
So, okay.
Nice to meet you, Sandra. Hey, did you see that, everybody? The engineer is watching.
So,
hi, Barbara. Maya.
Let me pull this up where I can see everything. I should deal with minor. So, how is tonight? Thank you. YouTube channel called icquilting.com and or just IC Stars Quilt. And I'm excited tonight because I get to sit and have with my good friend Di, who is from Sister Chicks, and we're just gonna have a girls' night because you know, believe it or not, person, we've just got our quilt channels, and I just enjoy watching she and I am here also. Di, are you hearing me pretty good right now?
Actually, you're cutting out, Kristen. Would somebody tell me if they can hear me? I know Sherry Bridwell just checked in. Can you hear me okay? And is it just on Kristen's end?
Really? Okay, let me see something. All right.
So, Kristen, Maya said that she can hear me and see me great, but my sound is great. So, it's, I don't know.
Okay. Are you able to see me at all?
Yes, we can see you. You're a little bit fuzzy and you're breaking up. Now you're gone. Okay. So while Kristen is working on the audio, I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I'm going to give you an update on the engineer because many of you realize that he had an accident. He fell, he broke his femur and his wrist. He was in the hospital for 10 days and 10 days. And then the day he went in, he tested positive for COVID. Isn't that awful? So he was in isolation for 10 days, but now he's in a care center. I've been over to see him several times. He has a broken wrist on the right and a broken leg on the left or on the right. So he's struggling with physical therapy, but doing very, very well. And he's probably going to be in a care center for, yikes, 20 days, you guys. Can you believe it? It just kind of stinks to get old. Kristen, I see you're back and your picture is better. Do you want to see how you sound?
I'm trying here.
Huh. I will, Tina. The engineer is on this live, so he can read that. So he probably sees your message, and we are hearing and we are feeling all of your prayers. We are so grateful for everybody out there. So, Kristen, do you want me to start answering a few questions while you're working on that? Okay. Well, Kristen is working on that because, hi, Abuela from New Jersey. While Kristen is working on that, I have a list of questions that she wanted to ask me. I feel so bad because we've been testing this and everything was fine. And the minute we went live, she was having problems. But first, she wanted to know how long I'd been sewing. I started when I was 9 years old in 4-H. Did any of you guys take 4-H? And by age 13, I remember I was sewing. She'll be with us, Barbara. I know, I feel really bad. Anyway, I was sewing. I got married at age 21, and back then it was more economical to sew clothes rather than to buy them. So I literally sewed all of the engineers' clothes, all of our children's clothing, and yeah, that's when I started sewing. I didn't start quilting until 2010. So I'm a newbie to the quilting world. But boy, when it came, it just consumed me. And I'm just very passionate about it, as you know. Kristen, you're back and you're looking better.
Please tell me I'm good because can you hear me okay?
Are. I can. Hey, Denise
Okay.
from Hot and
Thank you guys for
Spicy,
your patience.
Louisiana.
That was not not the way I wanted things to go, but thank you for your and so on the engineer.
You know what?
But
I answered the first two questions,
Kristen. Well, so can I hop back now? Okay,
I'm sorry?
let me hop back in and do my intro. Let me hop intro real quick. Is that okay? I was going to introduce the both of us. Yeah, okay. So thank you for your patience. I'm Kristen with IC Stars Quilting, and I'm so excited tonight. We're going to have a girls' chat, and this is something that Di and I have been planning for a while. And, Di and I actually met through YouTube. Both have our quilting channel. She has Sister Chicks Quilting and IT Stars Quilting, and I love following her. I love following all of the projects that she's working on, all of the fun stuff that she creates, and we've just developed a fun friendship through this. So I'm very, very happy to have her tonight and get to chat her, and all of our fun friends that are here online too, and also patient people as we work through some technical difficulties. So you are free to ask questions in the chat. I see a couple of them coming through right now, so you're free to ask questions in the chat. I'm gonna try and keep an eye on the chat and make sure that your questions get answered. If I happen to skip over it, please go ahead and put it in there again, because I want to make sure we answer those questions. I have a list of questions as well to ask you, Di, and just kind of share a little bit more, because you have really good experience in long arming. I am quilting in 2011, and you started quilting in 2010. So we're kind of like
we're on the same wavelength.
The quilting experience.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Abuelo wants to know when I started long arm quilting, and my aunt always told me when I started quilting, because she was my teachers over the phone, really, and she said, "Oh, you're going to get a long arm one day," and I'm like, "Yeah, no way." And in 2016, after I about killed myself running a queen size quilt through my domestic brother, which I gave away, I started renting long arms. So I quilted for a few friends on rented long arms for 2 years, and got quite a bit of experience. And I bought my Gamble Statler in 2018. Actually, it was in March, and that's the end of the story. And I've been quilting for clients ever since. Right now, I've got 12 lined up to do, and my daughter Michelle helps me. That's Hazel's mom, and she's really good. I've taught her everything. She does not like to sew, but she loves to long arm quilt. So that's my long arm quilting experience.
I love it. Yeah, I think everybody into the quilting industry, at least from having talked to so many people, they think I'm only gonna dip my toes, and I'm just gonna baby quilts for nieces or nephews or grandkids, own kids or whatever, and then I'm not gonna go crazy. And then you start to go to the quilt shops, and then you see like stuff on Pinterest, and you start to follow a couple YouTubers, and then you're creating table runners, and then you're creating like Christmas themed quilts, and then you're like, hey, there's a quilt shop coming up near me. It's you down. Happily, everybody's had to go deeper into the quilting world, but you really get absorbed.
I have to tell you a funny story about quilt shops. So I didn't know about quilt shops. I only knew Joann's, and so I was buying that fabric and sewing it. I knew the one I really liked was Craft Warehouse, and their fabric was more expensive than Joann's, and I was a little bummed about that, but they had sales, so I was okay with it. But let me tell you, the first time I went into a quilt shop, I thought I was going to die. And I called up my daughter-in-law, who was one of my teachers. I didn't know about quilt shops. It was like, I was just like so dumb. And like, I had no, amazing. The quilting grabbed me, the textures. I love to pet fabric. I'm petting fabric right now, you guys. So it's the best.
Yes.
Hi, Robbie and Barbara.
Oh, hey, B. So good to see you. Yes, if you're still like just joining us, feel free to open up the chat and ask questions, introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining us from. So we've got like South Carolina. I think there were some other ones around earlier that I missed, but and I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to you, but I'd love to say hi to you. Oh, at all the wonderful people. And so hey Marie, hey Dawn, hey B, we got Barbara, we've got Terry, we have an abuela and Terry too. Hello. So I'm going
to sorry, there's a little bit of a delay, you guys.
Ahead.
Sorry. I love seeing where everybody is from. I saw that we have someone on from is it Australia or New Zealand right now? I also I know Abuela's from New Jersey. Cheryl is from Stockton, California. So I love hearing where you're from. It makes me want to go visit you one day, right?
Come to Texas. Come to Texas. We'd have so
Yeah.
much fun. I can show you all the quilt shops
Kathy and Linda.
down here. And so we've got a couple from Maryland. We've got
Tracy.
Washington, Alabama, Arkansas, Illinois. Yes. So got lots of girls from all over. Thank you for joining us for our beautiful little fun girls' night. And I am just going to jump in here and ask you some questions, Di, kind of like a little bit more of your experience and kind of lean on your long arm experience, because we said that we've been quilting about the same amount. I just recently got into the long arm side of it and have my own machine now. Also, I said I will never buy one of those big gigantic ones, suck up the entire room. That's just crazy talking. Now I've got one in my master bedroom, so never say never. Denise asked, where am I from in Texas? I'm from Houston, so come find me. Also, if anybody wants to go to the largest quilt show in the world, it's in my backyard, and it happens the very first weekend of November, and you won't be sorry if you come visit. Di, you should come visit me sometime, and we'll go to the big quilt show together. But
me too.
That's the world, and it's huge and so much fun. It takes days to go through. But okay, let's jump into the question here. You already asked or answered a few of them, so let's do this. Tell me a little bit about what made you want to take your quilting knowledge into the YouTube network. What made you want to start a YouTube channel with your quilting stuff?
That's kind of an amazing story. Don't want to offend anybody, but I'm a Jesus lover and I believe in God. And I was actually praying for some help. I was ready to ask this person, and it was going to be really hard for me to ask this person for the help on my website that I needed. And I just felt inspired to call an old friend. She's a young woman. She's your age, Kristen, actually, because I saw that she was on YouTube, and I called her up and I said, hey, I have a question. Would you mind helping me out? And by the way, she has a YouTube channel that's very successful, but it's kind of, it's a Heidi Sonbull. She does crafting. And I asked her my question, and some of you know her. And she said, I'm going to help you, but not how you think I'm going to help you. And I go, okay, whatever. She said, I'm going to help you get a YouTube channel. And I go, yeah, no way. I hate YouTube. Because all I knew about YouTube was the engineer and my daughter, my kids would watch it, and it just drove me crazy because they were on their devices and then they'd put it up. I just hated YouTube. And she said, no, you really need a channel. And I'm like, no, I don't. I hate YouTube. And she said, you know what? You've got the personality to do it. And I think you'd be really great at it. You're a natural. And so I did. And she's my coach. And it's been a wonderful success story. And the very best part about YouTube is Kathy and Denise and Marie and Audrey and Terry and all of you wonderful people, and meeting Kristen and Cheryl and all of you people that watch it. You are amazing. And I feel like I have friends all over the world. And I do. I know it's a little bit of a different friendship than going out to play on the playground with a friend, but it is very fulfilling. And I love all of you and your comments. So I think that's my YouTube story.
Oh, that's so sweet. And I do. I love you too. I mean, you know, we can the phone and
Mhm.
it's easy to have those connections, you know, and I know I feel like when I watch you, I feel like we do hang out when I watch your videos. So
Cool.
Marie just asked really quickly how the engineer is doing. She did give Dad gave a little bit of an update on him when the thing first started. Do you want to give like a condensed version for somebody who's
Sure.
like just joining?
He's in rehab. And hey, Kelly Wills from Michigan. Anyway, he's in rehab because he's got some breaks to heal, and he's going to be a while healing his right wrist and his right femur. And they put a big rod in his femur. So Western Australia, hi Susan. And so it's just going to take time, but he helps me edit the videos over the phone. In the hospital, he was just too tired. I think he's going to have a lot of energy. I may take a computer into rehab so he can learn to use his left hand, because what I miss is his snarky comments and his from the peanut gallery, because it's kind of fun, huh? so that's how the engineer is doing.
It does add something to all of your videos.
Yeah, I was with him last night, and I'm going to see him in the morning. So took today off.
So yes, also the engineer is chiming in with us. He's watching this. So if you enjoy his sweet little comments and I'm sorry, the snarky comments that he shares with us, go ahead and say hello to him and give him lots of well wishes, because yes, praying that
he
you
would love
heal fast.
And that's anybody that watches, that drives him crazy when I go, oh my gosh, I love this. So yeah, so that's how he's doing. So
love
right.
Yes. So you have like your YouTube, you have your web, also have your long arm business as well. So what made you decide that you actually want to use your long arm for other people's quilts? I'm curious on this one. Like, what was the deciding factor that made you want to use it for other people's quilts?
That was part of it too. Again, God was in my life. I was going to buy a building and open a quilt shop and a quilt retreat center, and it didn't happen because the city was going to have me put a sprinkling system in, which was going to take us $100,000 over budget. So it just became too much, and we let that deal go. And one day I was at the corner at a stoplight looking at the building I was going to buy, and I just said, Heavenly Father, you know I want to be in the quilting business. If you provide me a way, I'll jump at it. And he did, because a couple of hours later, my girlfriend Heather, who was a dealer for Gamel, called me, and she said, hey, I have a proposition for you. She said, why don't you be the first one to buy a Gamel from me, and I'll help you get customers, because I'm not going to quilt for people anymore. And that's how I got launched into the quilting business. So, and here I am.
I call that kind of shoved.
Yeah.
Into the quilting, like happily. I love that.
Interesting, Cynthia. I know so many
she
people
put her long arm in the living room.
I have a small house, and the only logical place it could go was in the garage. I talked to the engineer about it, and he said, yeah, we can do it. But I don't think at the time he processed that he had taken over the garage with just piles of boy stuff, right? So we rented one of those containers, put it in our driveway, and it was there for, I think, 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. We cleaned everything out. Our garage was not finished. It was freezing cold in the winter, boiling hot in the summer. And there's the engineer. He's getting your love, love, love. Hi, honey. And we, the engineer wired the garage. He put plugs everywhere. He put great lighting in. We had it sheetrocked. We had it insulated, painted. And he has just a bit of real estate that hopefully is getting moved out. And we did that in 30 days. I have to tell you something funny.
Wow.
And my son said, Mom, Dad's sure grumpy. But you know why he's grumpy? Because you kind of forced him into doing 2 years worth of work in 30 days. So because our garage was we had everything on a schedule. So it was wonderful. And so now it's in a heated and air conditioned garage. I leave the door open and I talk people in the house while I'm quilting, or I go fix dinner and go back and start quilts. So I do love it. So
that's amazing. Yeah, you normal houses are not built for a long arm. So I have heard lots of creative stories. Mine personally is my master bed, and I don't recommend, but we have a big space in there. And while visually I thought this is a good space and a good like area for it, I didn't envision how big it would actually be. So they're massive. So yeah. So you said you have Gamel because you got from the lady who sells the Gamel machines. What specific model do you have, and why did you go with that model? Statler.
It's a Gamel Statler, so it's computerized. And just this year, in February, I believe, I put the new Ascend upgrade on it, and now my machine runs 40% faster with more accuracy. It is amazing. The belt got a new belt system. The belts are finer teeth, and it's wonderful. So so I can quilt really fast.
Oh, good. That's awesome. What would you say is the most challenging part of the long arm process for somebody who's thinking about getting a long arm? We're going to get into some more questions in a few minutes of like, if you have a long arm but you want long arm in your quilts, we are going to get into those questions. I just kind of want to pick Doug's brain just a little bit. What actually like is the most challenging part of the long arm process too?
Two things. Tracy Strobel asked about the garage. Tracy, our garage is heated and air conditioned. We put another zone out there. Our furnace can handle it. So there's that. The most challenging part of quilting on the long arm is probably getting your tension right and getting quilts on straight. That can be daunting. I remember at first I would hear, I was just watching videos after videos after video. They go, square up the back. And I'm like, how do you square up a back? I was stressed out by so many things. But I find if you get your tension right, not too tight, but taut, and not too loose, but a little floppy, you're going to have good stitches. And if you get it too tight, your hopping foot can actually bounce, and that's when you hear the th 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 and skip stitches. So, and I have probably about 2,000 patterns in my machine, Abuela. So, yeah. Shall I just answer some of these questions coming up, Kristen? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to say Audrey has a question here.
Yes, I love to mix fabrics when I quilt. And I have a gal, I call her Coral Block. So I have some friends, you guys, I'm Green Block because I did a retreat quilt where we all made a certain color block and then we swapped them. So my good friend Tammy, aka Coral Block, has taught me so much about mixing different fabrics. she made a quilt that was absolutely to die for gorgeous out of raw silk, wool, cotton, and something else. I forgot. But it was just gorgeous. So anyway, yes, you can mix fabrics, and you can actually quilt on fabrics like that. So when they're mixed like that.
You're brave. I would have given a slightly different answer. I mean, I guess you kind of figure out where you're comfortable with. I tend to go with like with like in terms of like cotton with cotton. Just because of the way they wash over time, like I wouldn't mix like a polyester with a cotton. It doesn't mean you can't, because obviously generations before us have used like feed sacks with cotton, with something else with in just like more of a utility type quilt, because they had to, and that's what they had to work with. But
right. Can
for
I
me,
tell you
I
a
like
secret?
mixing like with like.
Okay. Can I tell you
Okay,
a secret,
please
Kristen?
do.
I hate polyester.
Yes.
I would never mix polyester with anything as far as the fabric goes. But my backings, I quilt a lot with Shannon Cuddle. Some people call it Minky. And I actually have a sample of it here to show you. It's 100% polyester. So I'll put a polyester batting in. I'm talking about what I don't like is the double knit polyester from the old days and polyester fabrics to quilt with, because they're so hot. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think in terms of like longevity of your quilt, if you're making like an heirloom piece or something like that you're going to is going to be used, and you want it to be passed down, I just when you put it in the wash multiple times, different fabrics wash differently. So
Yes, they do.
that's why I say like.
Okay.
Let's go back real quick. What is your favorite type of batting?
I buy Hobbs brand batting on the roll, and my absolute favorite batting is washable wool. I adore it. It is light, yet it is warm. It is just the best. And in fact, I took a quilt into the engineer. He's laying under a wool blanket right now. There's wool batting. There's cuddle on the backing. And it's warm in the winter, cool in the summer. I just love wool. So it's in most of my personal quilts.
Okay. I'm kind of trying to experiment with wool myself. Personally, I like the bamboo, but I mean, it also depends on like where you live too.
I don't have a lot of experience with longevity of bamboo. Go ahead.
No, you're gonna talk over each other. It's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So let's kind of go into people who aren't interested in a long arm machine, but they want to perhaps outsource their quilting with a long arm machine. What would be like your the biggest concern that you hear from your customers, like people who have never done it before? What is some of the biggest concerns that they have?
Money. It's a price thing. We money is just, there's many different levels. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I have one quilter that just love. She's so much fun. And she says, I can make a lot of quilts for $40,000 die. So I'm going to put my money into the quilts. And she has a quilting budget. And so I get probably a couple of quilts every other month from her. And I loved that answer. Some people just don't have the money, and they don't realize how affordable long arm quilting can be. The one main question I get about prices, it's scary for some people, and they'll say, "Oh, how much to quilt a queen quilt?" Well, that's you can't tell them. I quilt by the square inch, so you times the width by the length, and that's your square inches. And then I start at 2 cents a square inch. If you want custom quilting, now custom quilting is, well, this is custom quilting behind me. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have a specific design in the border. I've got tiny pebbles down here. I have outlines around the stars. The chick is outlined. So custom quilting is a specific design in a specific area. And sometimes you can change thread colors. You can do all kinds of things with custom quilting. And that starts at 4 cents an inch. But I have to tell you, most long arm quilting, sorry, it's going to be a long answer. I'm sorry, you guys. But quilting, when someone brings me a quilt, it is all about their quilt. And I interview them. What do you want your quilt to look like? What are you feeling about this? And mostly it's their work of art. And so we do the quilting as a background or as texture in the background. And that is just, it just will blossom that quilt, make it so beautiful. So we do, thank you, Dawn. I love my spool of thread quilt too, and I'll show you more about that later. But I prefer, I like both. You can have a beautiful job done on a beautiful quilt for 2 cents an inch. And people are surprised at how little it costs. My batting is very affordable. You can go to my website at sisterchicksquilting.com. All of my prices are on my website. And you can pretty much figure out how much it's going to be. I have a little over 500 edge-to-edge designs. Those are the 2 cents an inch quilt. And about 20% of those 500 designs are really dense, very, I'm going to say the wrong word and the engineer will correct me. Very articulate. They're very detailed, and they're 3 cents an inch. But it's not. I can send. I just quilted the quilt for a lady, and it cost her $72, and it was a really large lap quilt. It was lovely for $72. So. And that did not include my batting price.
Okay.
She brought her own batting. Did that help? Have I scared you guys away as far as price goes?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I feel like a lot of times people don't want to offend a long arm quilter when they say, like, how much do you charge? And then they figure out it's going to be several hundred something. It's not personal in most cases. It's just, It's a lot of time. It takes to set up on the machine. It takes time to sew it and all of that. And it's a large project a lot of times. And it's very labor intensive on the long armor too. So it's not necessarily that, like, it's not just I'll throw it on the long arm, labor intensive. To conduct, a lot of times people just don't want to offend somebody. But, I have seen people that charge like 2 cents a square inch all the way up to 5 or 6 cents a square inch if it's the custom quilting. So that's meant for a twin size with your batting is what Marla is asking.
I see that. Okay. So a twin size is going to be about 90 inches long. So we're going to say 90 times 72. Okay. That's 6,480 square inches. So you times that by the quilting, and that's $129 for the quilting. And then the batting, I'll always cut my batting. So I cut extra batting. You need your batting and your backing to be 8 inches long, bigger all the way, 4 inches bigger all around the size. And so the batting, let's just put 80/20 in the quote. I sell that for $14 a yard, so it's going to be
this is like real life in time math from Dye, and you're getting like
it's going to be about quote. It's going to be about $22 for the batting and the quilt. And so the whole quilt is going to be under like about $150. Excuse me. So,
so yeah, I mean, like some people would be kind of put off by that because $150 could like buy my family like a week of groceries. It could be like you know, all kinds of things. But when you look into how much into the fabric, how many you've put into, so sorry if you can hear the dogs, how much time you've spent doing these kitting and all of this, and you really do have that really good quality to it. You know, how much effort is going to take your part the finished quilt that you want.
Yeah.
So,
do you guys
through the machine yourself, you're probably not as detailed as a longarm.
So also quilting prices are regional. I have a friend who quilts up in Washington, state of Washington, and she charges like 4 and 5 cents an inch. It's kind of like real estate. It's what does the market bear in your area, and so it kind of depends on where you are. I have several customers from out of state. I quilt for people from Pennsylvania, Florida, Georgia, California, Texas, Washington, and then all the Michigans. And I confuse all Michigan and all those states up there, Wisconsin. People, a lot of people send me quilts from there because it saves them, and postage is maybe $20 each way. So and I don't charge time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't charge time, Marie. I see that some do. Everybody charges differently. And so I know I've got a lady from, let's see, I think her name is Wendy, and I don't know if she's watching or not, but Wendy just sent me a quilt from Moab, Utah. And I'm sure there's a ton of long armors in Utah. But yeah, I'm going to show you a quilt. I want to show you one that I just did on the long arm. So,
okay, while you get that, I'm going to say hi to Miss Linda that just got here. And if you have questions, keep them coming. Okay. Oh, look, you can see really good detail of that quilt.
It's dragons. And so this is
dragons.
It's dragons, and they're curled up in each other. And this quilt is got the cuddle on the back. And this is one reason why I love cuddle. It's amazing on the back side. And what do you think of that? Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes, that's awesome.
Let me show you. This is a Jason Yenter quilt. I just want to make sure it's right. So look at this quilt. You're not going to be able to see it all.
Is it sideways?
Can you see the texture in this quilt? Isn't that amazing?
Fabric.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a lot of piecing in it. But this is what those dragons that are nested are really cool. And by the way, those dragons are about 27 inches in diameter. They're big, but it fits the quilt. So anyway,
everybody in the chat is gorgeous. It's beautiful, amazing. Shauna, thank you for joining us tonight.
Hi, Shauna.
So so what is your personal style of quilting? Do you have like traditional, modern, or kind of a mix of both?
You know, when I first started out, I was very modern. And then I got into some traditional. I think I love modern most of all. And to me, modern is, you know, no borders, no sashing, things like that. You did a YouTube on that, Kristen, just a couple of weeks ago, and I love the modern quilts for my taste most of all. But I think I love modern most of all. And to me, modern is, you know, no borders, no sashing, things like that. You did a YouTube on that, Kristen, just a couple of weeks ago, and I love the modern quilts for my taste most of all. And I But look what I did with this one, with my spool quilt right here. It's very traditional, but it's kind of fun. So
Yes. Maria says in here that she's an introvert. She has 16 quilt tops done. I'm guessing that's not 16 quilts done. That's 16 quilt tops done. So I think a lot of people also get that kind of nerves in terms of like good enough, and this long armor being like show worthy quilt is gonna think, oh my god, why is she paying to get this piece of junk done? And probably not those terms, but I think that's how people feel, and that's how I felt too. I didn't want to be judged by somebody else, but I think long armors are kind of like when you go into like your general doctor, like they've seen it all, they've heard it all, probably like an emergency room too. Like they've seen everything. You can't really surprise them. And a lot of times you're being harder on yourself than you like anybody else would be. And I talk a lot about that too, and just quilting because you know what you've created, Maria, is something that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And quilting skills come with time. It's something that you're just like born with. The more you quilt, the better you get. You know, your first quilt is going to have a lot of issues in it. It's going to have seam ripping. It's going to have a lot of problems that you have to fix. But that doesn't mean that it's not worthy of becoming a finished product, because you spent time, you spent money, and you know, maybe somebody like Di would be really good and forgiving on your quilts if you needed a long armor to do them for you.
So here's how I handle situations like that, because I've had I would probably never hear from these people again, but I do not I'm just proud that I just love that people bring me quilts. I don't care what shape they're in. If they don't press them and want me to press them, I charge for that. But if I don't press if they don't press them and don't care, then that's okay. And I have to tell you, I got this quilt from this man whose wife passed away, and this was right when I started. This was the end of 2018, and they wanted the quilt to take back to her wake back east. And so this quilt had stripes going like this with piece stuff. It was the Aboriginal pattern, the Aboriginal fabric, the black with the beautiful designs on it. And when she got to the end, so on the right side, no, on the left side, her quilt was 9 inches longer than on the right side. And so literally it went on my long arm. I laid it up like this. I scooched fabric up in the middle, and I really worked on it. And on the end, when I got to the end, I thought, you know what? I just put it on crooked. No one ever knew, because once you take it off and you trim it, you never know. But the embarrassing thing was, I measure every quilt I take in. And the reason we measure the quilts, I have people say, oh, you're going to find out I'm imperfect. And I'm like, no, I need to know how wide and long your quilt is, because I have to be exact when I set it up on my machine. And they go, oh, okay. So no judging here. I don't wear my police badge. I'm not the quilt police. But I'll tell you one thing. Any quilt finished with quilting is so much better, and you're just going to love it. And you can snuggle up in it, throw it over your couch, gift it, and the person you gift it to is going to love it. They always look better when they're quilted. It's that texture in the background. It's just perfect. How about that comment, Linda?
Okay, well, if you come to Houston, I will quilt with any of y'all. We'll go shopping and we'll have a good time. But I cannot live at your house. I have people here that need to be fed. So, and we said, like, you know, I saw perfect or done is better than perfect. And I think that applies to so many in like areas of your life, because I don't know why, but I want to be perfect. I have plenty of other areas in my life where I wish to be better and perfect and all that. I want to create something beautiful. I want to get that creativity out of me, and also I just want to play with fabric, and I want to create something that's never been. And so if you are calling quilting your hobby, you're perfect, that's not a hobby. Or at least it's not to me. Maybe it is to other people, but if I have to worry about being perfect, that puts a whole nother stress level on it. And I guarantee any quilter, even like the ones that are in the shows, I've done this, I've tested it out multiple times. If I go and I meet the quilter, I say, where are your problem sections on this quilt? Every single one of them, because I love us quilters, and we're all open during like what went wrong. She'll be like, this corner over here gave me such a problem. I almost didn't even finish this whole quilt. And I look at it and I'm like, you're just won $10,000. What are you talking about? You know, that's like, but I do that with my own quilts, and you know, people who don't really know about quilting, or even people who do know about quilting, they're like, wow, that quilt is gorgeous. You did such a beautiful job on it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, none of the corners here matched up. The fabric is all wonky, and I didn't really do my fussy cutting correctly or whatever. So you are your worst critic, and you're welcome to email. I think it was Maria mentioning like that she was kind of having issues with like the perfectionism and stuff with the quilt, so not knowing to email me pictures of your quilts. I'll tell you whether or not you're crazy. In a nicer way than that, but whether or not you're doing too hard on yourself. So
I'm going to answer Marie's question.
Marie asked, when you lady. Oh.
Okay. I have quilts in all stages. So, do you guys remember my Crossroads video? It was a really popular video. The one that I made for the video is still in a sack right on my shelf right there. Luckily, my girlfriend Joanne, who is Aqua Block, by the way, had several done, and I used hers as samples. So I haven't finished that one. It's a little labor intensive, and I'll get to it. I love to get in and finish my whips. I have got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quilts waiting to be quilted. Oh my gosh, I've fallen and I can't get up. Anyway, I have 5 quilts waiting to be done. I have I've got one that I've started. It's a what are they called? Where you cut the pieces and put them on. Here, let me get it.
We won't talk about how many works in progress I have waiting to be done. Y'all seen my video on that, and, or if you haven't, I have a video on it.
See this quilt? Is that not amazing? This is Laura Heine does these. She has a company called Fiberworks, and you cut them out, and I have everything in here cut up and ready to put on. So I have real heartburn. I think I want to do that one over Christmas. Can I fix this quilt? It's driving me crazy. Go ahead.
Yeah, so from talking to lots of other quilters, we all kind of have our own personal threshold of like, how many is too many in progress. You know, you have some that are like, I met quilters who are like, I work on one at a time and I finish that one and then I go to the next one. And then we have other people who are like, I have quilts from 15 years ago that still need to be pieced together, you know. I have a video that shares all of my progress, and if you read through the comments of those, you will get a feel for how many people have their different thresholds and stuff. I apparently have a higher threshold than a lot of people, but
it's got to be your own thing. And the important thing is to have fun with it. I find quilting relaxing, fulfilling. I really am just way into quilting. And so Anyway, so don't be hard on yourself. Whatever you do, be kind to yourself. So hey, Martha, hey, Moody Girl, and Kathy Carroll, hi from Minnesota, and Marla, you finished the Crossroads quilt, huh? Send it to me and I'll quilt it for you. Um, Chuck wants me to tell you. Chuck is the engineer, everybody. He wants me to tell you about my Hexie quilt.
He's calling you out.
Oh, he is. Well, I got this pile of antique Hexie flowers from my friend who taught me how to quilt down the road. So I had 3 quilt mentors that taught me how to quilt. And one of them was my neighbor. And when she passed away, her kids, they said, we don't want any of this. They took what they wanted. I went through it. And so I got these Hexies and I've been working on this quilt. I figured, oh, I'm going to give myself 3 years to do it. Was that 5 years ago, Chuck? I think so. And I'm to the point where when I sit down, I'm too tired to bring the magnifier over and sit and work on tiny Hexies. So if somebody is really into handwork and wants to swap and do my Hexie quilt, I'll do a bunch of long arm quilting for you. Deal? So that's where I am on that one. So
yes, I love that. And I was laughing at Marie said she made a list of all of her works in progress and felt guilty for about 2 seconds until she found another pattern. If that's not me,
good.
I mean,
Good.
Yeah, don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you do it for joy, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's. I've still got more questions to ask you here, so let's go through some of these. And if you guys still have questions, please feel free to go ahead and drop them in the chat. We're still gonna hang out here for like a little bit longer and just enjoy our girls' night. Let's see. Let's do. Who's up to within the quilting community? Like either just designers or on YouTube, or who do you watch when you're learning to do a new task, a new skill?
I
you mentioned you have 3 mentors that learned that.
Well, the 2 of the 3 people that taught me how to quilt, only one is alive, and that's my daughter-in-law. Thank goodness she's alive. She was so cute. She said I quickly passed up her skill, but her mother is an incredible quilter, and I do long arm all of her projects. And Jana sends me the most gorgeous quilts. I probably look up to the people that bring me quilts because I see their amazing work. But on YouTube, I watch all the same ones that you do. I love all of us little people on YouTube because we're kind of little people on YouTube compared to the Ginny Dones and the Brain Dead. Who's the fun gal in the Portland area that has a big shop and she always finishes a quilt? Yeah, Donna Jordan. Love Donna Jordan. Yeah, I love Donna Jordan because they just get to it, and that's what I like to do is just get to it. So I look up to anybody that creates something beautiful, and some of these are my customers, my neighbors, but probably the YouTubes I watch are Missouri Star and Donna Jordan, and then April Story, and then Icy Stars Quilting. So you guys all make me laugh. So
I made the list. I know. I love your channel too. You make such pretty things.
Thank you.
It makes me wish I had more hours in the day. And yeah.
Oh, you still have 2 full-time jobs with your children there, Kristen.
Fun questions.
Okay.
No, they take up all my time, but I love them to death, and I wouldn't jump for anything. But as far as like quilting productivity, rule number 1: don't have children. But let's see. I want to make sure I get a couple things. Angela Walters, God, I love her. I mean, does anybody not love these?
She gave me so much confidence.
Another great one.
I love it. Yes. I forgot about Angela Walters.
Oh.
I talked to her at Quilt Market back in 2012, and she's been quilting since she was 18 years old, so she's just darn good. But yeah, I've got a lot of her books, and she gave me a lot of confidence to quilt. Love Angela.
Yes. Yes. Um, let's see. Truth question here. What does your sewing space look like right now? Is it a huge mess where you're living in it and things are like everywhere out in the open? Or is it neat and tidy? You don't.
I'm not going to show it, but I've got a lot of good storage systems, so a good portion of it is neat and tidy. But I've got some piles over here, and I have 3 whips right here in the corner on the floor. And on my Calyx/ironing board, I have a quilt I have to ship and some fabric I have to fold and put away. So it's kind of, it's, yeah. And then I have a bunch of stuff under my sewing machine table.
Okay, I want to add her in the chat too. Like, give me a 1 if your sewing space is nice and neat and tidy, or give me a 2 if your room is an absolute disaster and nobody's come or anything. I'm just curious because I love to see how things are going and make me feel a little bit better about myself. So, y'all are still coming out with like amazing people that y'all follow.
Oh,
online.
look at that! There's some twos. And Karen Brown is amazing too. I watch her.
Coming in. Oh yeah, she is really good too. Yes.
Come on, there's got to be
we got some
ones out there.
Come
on, ones.
I would say I kind of fall in the same category as you. Stuff is kind of put away at a 1.5. There you go. I guess a 1.5 is certainly viable. An answer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Parts of my room are nice, and I always keep this area nice and tidy. And I've got I've gotten to where I kind of like starting to straighten the shelf right there, and then you woke up. But parts of it are kind of messy too. So
I'm laughing at Marla and Tracy.
I love this. Yes. Organized chaos. Bless you,
yeah.
Marie, because that's like my life in a nutshell. I know what's going on. Rarely does anybody else know what's going on.
There you go.
But people's sewing space
of course
and
you would,
see how they organize things, because most people have their own way of like their own brain has like things that make sense to you. Like if sewing your room die, I wonder if I would be able to find my way around. And vice versa. If you were to come over here, could you find everything you needed? I don't know. It would be an interesting test. Maybe we'll do that sometime. So,
hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. You're just joining us. Hello. We're talking about messy sewing rooms. But okay, let's go back to listen to anything in the background while you're quilting. Either while you're sewing dye or while you're on your longarm machine, because longarm machines can be kind of noisy.
I have a few favorite podcasts. I have Alexa in my sewing room, and I use Alexa. Probably my number one go-tos: Stevie Wonder, Michael Bublé, and this, you guys are going to crack up. This is from my childhood: Marty Robbins' Gunfighter Ballads. Okay. Chuck
you lost me on the last one.
I knew I would, because you're a child. So
I'm not a child. I have children. That's not possible. Yes. This is really talking about my sewing room, right? Not the dining room or the rest of the house. Yeah. We have fabric everywhere. Yeah, it kind of grows. When you're not looking, I swear it creeps into the other parts of the house.
It does grow.
Yeah,
I got
kind of like, go ahead. I do look young. I have a baby face. I get called it all the time still.
So I
just take it as a compliment. But it's not a compliment when I'm in the grocery store with my 14-year-old me, and I'm still because I look young. So
Yeah, you do look young, but you are a child. Kristen is old enough. She's my daughter's age. So, and my daughter is my baby. I have two sons that are way older. But I just added a beautiful piece. I fell in love with a new designer called, or I can't see who the designer is, but it's Belle Isle by Moda, and it's a red, white, and blue. It came out this spring. And yeah, the engineer is a complete mess. That's right. And but his mind is tidy. Anyway, I just added a whole bunch of that fabric to my collection. I can't wait to do something with it next year, but for now I want to. Yay, Cynthia, for Marty Robbins. Yeah, I love Marty Robbins. I got for my birthday I was given a layer cake of Belle Isle and a jelly roll, and so I had to go buy some background fabric and maybe some sashing, definitely binding and border fabric. So I'm just looking at this big pile of it right now, and it just, guys, it just turns me on. It's so pretty. I just love it. So yeah, you know what's cool?
Special.
I'm seeing all these comments. I think everybody, we're all creative people, and it doesn't matter how we do it. It's fun to hear how other people do it. But you know what? We are like Karen Brown. We just get it done, kids. Don't you think? I do.
Yeah. Whether you're sewing in the corner of your dining room, or you have like an extra bedroom, or you're in your living room, or your machine is your bedroom, it just you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Sherry.
You do what you got to do. Hey, Steve. Welcome.
Oh, Sherry. Sorry.
What is a piece of, that's okay. What is a piece of advice that you would like to share with a new quilter? Something that you wish you would have known when you first started quilting? Let's say maybe not in the long arm aspect, but like just the quilting.
No, I'm thinking of quilting. Well, I sewed a whole bunch of table toppers, and I didn't know to use 1/4-inch seams. So, Debbie, you're at the Missouri Star birthday party. You caught us. Hi. Anyway.
Oh, you lucky duck. We talked about you earlier, Debbie.
I know.
Come visit.
So anyway, what I wish I would have known, I just don't know if I needed to. I didn't know about 1/4-inch. I didn't know about the 1/4-inch foot on my machine. I learned it, but my first few pieces were quite pathetic. But I have to tell you something. My cousin still gets his candy corn table topper out every Halloween, and they just love it. And when I walk by and see it on the table, I shudder. From the binding to the stitches to the quilting, I shudder. But yeah, I probably wish I'd have taken a little intro class, you know. But now I'm just chill about it. So
yeah, 1/4-inch seams and correct cutting,
because it changed.
It's not like cooking.
It changed the size of those table toppers I did, but it didn't matter. So do you want to know something really funny that happened? My very second quilt, my very first quilt was a French braid. So you guys know how the French braids, you go here and here and here and here. You have these beautiful braids, and then you put them together. And I was just following the directions because I had no clue. So I'm like looking and following and sewing along and following, and I start putting them together, these braids, and I was amazed. The seams were nesting, and I thought I invented nesting. I remember the engineer was next door, and I went running, and I go, guess what? I just figured out. I think I invented this. And now we just laugh at it. And Abuela, I wished I'd have known about the different of quality fabric too. It took me a while to get into it. I quilted for 2 years with Joann's fabric because I just didn't know any better until I found a quilt store. And then it was like, now I'm a a total quilt addict. Okay.
Yes.
Long answer. Sorry.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Where is your favorite place to purchase your quilting supplies? Like your favorite fabric store? Do you go to local quilting shop or do you shop online?
I have a hard time shopping online, but I do have my favorite online shops for sales. Probably my LQSs, Maggie's on Main here in Emmett, Idaho, JK Quilts in Meridian, Idaho, and then I love Fixin' to Quilt in Caldwell, Idaho. So those are probably my favorite. But another favorite, and I'm going to be going there at my retreat, is the Gathering Place in Rupert, Idaho. You guys, that store is amazing. They have everything. It's just amazing. They have a huge section. They have a whole room of just modern fabric, everything from Tula Pink to Allison Glass to Bonnie and Camille, and tons of Cotton and Steel or Ruby Star Society. I just go in that room and I just like, it just feels so good. So those are my favorite.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity for those of the people that are watching that aren't familiar. Di is putting on a quilt retreat, and I'm going to give her an opportunity to go ahead and plug that because I want people to know about it. Go ahead.
And Debbie Dobbins is signed up and coming. I can't wait to meet her in person. So my quilt retreat is October 13th through October 16th in Albion, Idaho, which is about 2 hours west of Boise, Idaho. It's $550. All of your meals. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a blast, Miss Debbie. All of your meals are included, lodging. And Debbie, I just found out because you wanted to go to the Haunted Mansion, we're going to get some comp tickets for that. So, but I don't like to be scared, so we'll see who wants to go with you. But it's going to be fun. There's a hot tub there. We're going to sit and soak in the hot tub after we've sewn and our backs are tired. So yeah, it's going to be fun and real, and I'd love anybody to come. We've got a few spots left.
Awesome. So if somebody wanted to sign up for that or check more information, where do they go?
You can go to my website.
How do they find that?
My website is sisterchicksquilting.com, and contact me through my email. The contact sends me an email. So, and I'll get you registered and send you everything you need to attend. So just send me an email.
Okay. Well, I promised I wouldn't take up entire Friday evening, and
do we want?
It's not too late right now, actually, but I want to do some quick fire, rapid, like this or that with you,
okay.
And then we'll bid everybody good night here. But also, if you have more questions that Di and I did not get to, please go ahead and add them in the chat, and we'll get to them before we sign off. But here we go. Solid fabric or print fabric? Rapid fire.
That is tough.
Go.
Because print.
Flying geese or half square charts?
HSTs.
Okay. Traditional piecing or foundation paper piecing?
Traditional. But I do love foundation.
Okay. Okay. I think I already know the answer to this, but machine binding or binding?
Oh, definitely machine binding. You know what, Kristen? Everybody wants to ask about my backs. I'm going to show you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
So
yeah. Okay. We're on the subject of binding. We have a little show and tell.
Okay. So let's see. This is a binding that I've machined down. Can you see it, Kristen? Everybody wants to know how it looks on the back. This is how my backs look. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes in the ditch.
So your bottom thread, yeah.
But sometimes I do stitch on my back binding. I think it shows a little bit there. But anyway, yeah, I'm a total machine binder all the way.
How wide do you cut your bindings at?
2.5 inches.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Bold neutrals.
Bold.
Bold, all right.
Bold.
Let's see. Pin basting or spray basting? I don't know if that really
no apply here. I use my long arm.
quilter.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had to do it, I'd probably say spray.
All the way. Well, we talked about this, but one project at a time, or do you just like to collect your works in progress? What would be your preferred way?
I've got ADD. I can do things at once. At least I think I can. So, yeah.
I love that. When picking out your thread for your long arm machine, do you prefer that it blends in or that it is high contrast?
It depends on the look. Again, that's very personal to the quilt and the quilter, how they want it. I did a red and white quilt and she said, I want black thread on this. And I said, honey, no, you don't. But I didn't call her honey. Anyway, I said, no, you don't. We put taupe thread on it and it was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So it really depends on the look you want on your quilt.
Yeah. And that's another tiny lesson there is if you don't know and you've never like long armed a quilt before, ask your long armor. Say, what would you do? Because they have tried it all. They've seen it all. They know it all. And ask your long armor for their opinions and their suggestions. And they, at least everyone that I've met, really just want the best for your quilt. So, seams pressed open or to the side when piecing?
Mostly to the side, very rarely open. If I'm doing fussy little points and stuff, I'll do open, but mostly to the side.
Good to know because that's how I do it too. I don't have time to be like pushing open fabric. You print out your PD or your quilt patterns, or do you use the PDFs?
I always have to have a print copy, and I follow that.
Do you your quilt patterns like draw all over them and make notes in color all over the place? Yeah,
absolutely.
Good for you. That's what I always say about my quilt patterns. They're made to be messy. Don't show me a perfectly clean copy. I want it to be messy. Okay. When you're sewing, are you nice and slow, or are you like pedal to the floor?
Pedal to the metal. Pedal to the metal. Let's get it done.
Yes. What's your favorite type of pre?
Fat quarter. If that counts as a pre-cut.
Fat quarter.
Yeah.
It does. Absolutely does. Okay. Interesting. All right. What is the best quilting hack that you have seen? This is kind of open-ended, so it could be anything.
Oh my gosh. And I knew these questions before, and I'm gonna have to think on that one. Skip. I can show my favorite tools, but I can't think of a.
Okay. Sure. Let's do. What's your favorite tool then? What could you not live without?
This is
a ruler?
12.5 inches by 2.5. I'm starting to wear the paint off the back. I use this so much, but this is my all-time favorite quilting tool, and it has a seam ripper and a stiletto. I use the stiletto more than anything, and it's a third finger. It helps me get accurate. And Coral Block's husband made these for all of us. He turned them. So I love my stiletto. Yeah.
Mine is on my other table, but I have
your
one
stiletto?
that my husband made that like that.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
nice.
that's like this the hand turn with on the either side. I have one that he made, but I over on my cutting table right now.
Cool. I can't sew with that one. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, Lisa, making some good dinner.
Oh, Lisa has to go.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open it up to if there's any questions or any comments or anything. I want to make sure that I don't keep you for your whole Friday night, but I really appreciated you girls coming in. So if you have any questions, any comments or anything, please go ahead and leave them in the chat and we'll hang out for just a few more minutes. Make sure we answer everything coming through and fun. I love talking to you. And I love talking to all of our other quilters too, because
this has been
you know, as a community, we really do have like the best people.
This has been so much fun.
Kind. We're open to sharing. Yes.
Let me show you while some answers are coming in. A few projects I have, I guess videos I have coming up. See this stack of grays and blues, and this is going to be a plus quilt for my grandson. He doesn't watch these videos, but look at these colors. Isn't that gorgeous? This is one of my lights. Yeah, he wants black and blue. And look at these two. You'd think they're from the same line, but oh, they're not. And the plus quilt is so much fun. It's a free pattern. Look at this is a light, and then here's another gray. And then if it's a boy quilt, you have to have some Jason Yenter in it. Isn't that gorgeous? This is from his space line. And this is going to be the binding also. And then, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to pee my pants when I saw this black. Is that not gorgeous? Look at that.
Ooh,
the
that is really cool.
Isn't that cool? Let me see if there's a selvage on it. It is, Jardin Noir. And it is by
I'm
Studio.
gonna have to look up that plus quilt.
It's Robert Kaufman.
So,
Studio K for Robert Kaufman. Jardin Noir. So the line of this fabric, I just fell in love with it. And then, of course, some more grays. But that's going to be one of my fun Christmas videos, is my plus quilt. And then finally, next week, I'm going to get this one done. Oh, I lied. I'm not. In 2 weeks, I'm doing the Cabin in the Woods panel. And I don't know if you can see it or not. Yeah, it is. And I have this stack of batiks that I'm going to make with it. So anyway. So those are just 2 videos coming up.
Goodness, a lot going on.
Oh, just a little.
You do. You have. Down there was a question that ab batting is heavier than cotton batting.
No, it's much, much lighter. It is just so light. The washable wool batting is like lifting a feather, yet you get the warmth from it. It is incredible. And it has a really nice loft. So
yes, it's on my list to experiment with, like, very, very soon, as I'm getting there. I'm trying to catch all of these that come through. So I did see somebody, I don't remember who it was, I'm sorry, but asked about my shoulder. And my shoulder is getting much better. No, I'm not at 100% yet, but I'm 8 weeks out of surgery. I'm still got like another probably 2 or 3 months of physical therapy. Like, as far as it's not gonna fall apart or anything, but I lost like that's about as high as I can lift my arm right there. I lost a lot of movement in it because of all the repairs they had to do. Yeah. like they had to repair muscles, they had that stuff, and so it's that's a chat for another day. We don't want to talk about how broken my shoulder is, but it's probably a year that it's going to take to fully recover. But I don't have any restrictions except for if it hurts, don't do it. So like no lifting grocery bags, no like weightlifting, which that wasn't a problem before, but none of that type of stuff. I did get to drive for the first time the other day.
Yay!
I got to drive for the first time the other day. That was really like I didn't realize how much I had missed like that little bit of freedom there, and yeah, when I drove, so I'm not like jetting off the other side of the country or anything like that.
So but Lynn wants to know.
So a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
Good. Lynn wants to know where to get wool batting. I use Hobbs brand washable wool. You can get it just about. You can get it online. You can, I believe, even Joanne sells batting. I wouldn't buy Pellon brand. I think they use a lesser quality batting. Well, I know they do because my manufacturer, when I order my Hobbs, told me that they manufacture for Joanne's a different quality to keep the price down. And so get it at your little quilt shop or online. Just do a search for wool batting and it's washable wool. So, yeah. Or you can buy it from me if you contact me. Yay, wow. Marla just subscribed to your channel, Kristen.
Oh, hi. Thank you. Thank you. We have lots of fun over at my channel too, but you can never have too much quilting in your life. So yes. Yeah. And thank you, Marie, for asking about the shoulder. That's very, very kind of you to check in me. If you would have asked me about a month ago, my answer would have been very different, but things are getting well. If let's give like a 2-minute warning. Anybody else has any other questions? I have enjoyed tonight so much with you, diving, and also a very, very well wishes to the engineer. We're still thinking about you and praying for you and hoping that you heal quickly and speak to physical therapy. Don't ignore it. Don't do what they say.
It's a good thing.
I have a tendency to like go above and beyond, and I really like regret it if I do too much. But, keep it.
I watched him yesterday in physical therapy. Come home
sooner.
Yeah, he's a superstar in physical therapy, so I'm happy for that. It is grueling. So
yeah, my physical therapist should probably get paid extra because I give her a hard time. Oh. But you know what? That's all I got. Like, I'm going to give her a hard time because that's all I have. But yes, I have enjoyed, let's see, Marla says Quilter's Dream has a washable wool batting also. Do you have any thoughts on that dye?
They're equally good. I just use, I don't know why. I just use Hobbs because I have an account with them and I get it. So yeah, it's just as good. Just as long as it's washable wool. Yeah.
Okay. So, good.
Well,
good.
Well, tonight has been so much fun. Kristen, thank you so much. I was a little nervous because I'm technologically challenged. You are a superstar. So, thanks.
And you did fine. I had the issues.
Good night, Shauna. Yes, I do. I can supply batting. Contact me through my website. Send me an email through my website, sisterchicksquilting.com. And then I also, about half of my quilters bring their own batting. So, and yeah, but if somebody quilts, if they quilt, I give batting. I sell batting to them. Bye, everyone. I love you all. This is why I do YouTube.
Right, bye,
you guys are incredible. Bye-bye.
We're very lucky to have such wonderful people. So y'all have a good night. Safe. We love you. We'll talk later. Bye. Good night, guys.